Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Or do you want to wait a sec? Do you need a second? Do you need a second, Justy?
I just
You need
meant
a
to
second?
be silly. I just meant to be silly. Please forgive me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the episode of Capcom Podcast. I'm Cameron.
Justy, hi.
And I'm Amelia.
Yay! Welcome. Way.
Yeah. We have a special guest today. I love special guests. They're fun. They give new perspectives, and
Hence the
they're
special.
hence the special. You know. Amelia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Amelia. I studied film. I make films sometimes, and I'm very happy to be here to talk about films today.
Yay! I will warn you, Amelia and I went to the same screening last night, which started at 11 p.m. And at least I didn't get home till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Did you at least sleep at some points?
Yes, I woke up at
That's what matters.
I woke up at 9 and then I woke up again at 1 p.m. this afternoon.
I wouldn't want you to not get sleep and as a result of the back room just start losing it.
Man,
That would
what
be
a transition.
off theme.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's the Backrooms. Yeah. Is it the Backrooms? Is it
Did
Backrooms?
Cameron hate it? Is that why there's the low enthusiasm?
No, because I just double crossed. I just was confused and concerned that I did this wrong and that I put something wrong in the text. Because I don't know why.
No, it says
That's right.
Backrooms.
Yay, Justin! What is this movie about? Because
Backrooms, you see, Backrooms is about the Backrooms. Do we need more than that? I could add more.
I think so. Yeah.
So this movie's about a sweet young man named Clark. That's a good start, right?
Yeah, sweet and young. Two ways I would
He's a
describe
very
this
good
main character.
He's a pirate.
Yeah.
He's a sultan. What more can one want out of life? At least this is how he is in his head. This is a man who has lived alone post-divorce for quite some time, living alone in a big old furniture store, unsuccessful business. Nothing's really quite going his way. And these feelings of aloneness, feelings of being undervalued and not seen have really eaten up at him. And it comes out a lot in his therapy with his therapist, Mary, who is also quite pivotal here. Until one day, in the basement of his furniture store, he finds a portal of sorts to
Backrooms. Amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, do you not want me to describe that? Nah.
Is there more? No, I think we need to go with our first impressions before we talk about the Backrooms.
What the Backrooms?
Even though I guess they are in the trailers. So
that's what I was gonna say. A space of abstraction, where horrors may arise via. I guess explaining it anymore would be a bit spoilery. So we could hop into what Cameron's so eager to talk to us about.
Two more points
about the movie. Cameron, tell us about
two more points to this. First off, this is based on the hit YouTube series by the same name. That's
Marble
point number one.
Yes.
Which
Backrooms.
I didn't. Yes, correct. The Backrooms. Which I didn't know this was a YouTube series until after the movie.
It's not really a YouTube series exactly. It's a collection of a wide array of people putting in their own visualizations of what they imagine the Backrooms to be after kind of like a cultural accumulation of this. But the person who directed this movie was a big voice in that community and had a series that particularly popularized the concept of the Backrooms, even if I don't believe was the actual originator, I don't think, but was the primary person popularizing it.
This guy is also 19 years old, which last time I checked, all three of us are over the age of 19, and none of us have made a movie that's gotten to movie theaters, and that truly makes me really bitter as a 26-year-old man.
Well, just make some Backroom shorts, and then you could get a...
Yeah, just make some Backroom shorts.
Just travel back in time to when you were younger, and then make a film with 15. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, perfect. Make better shit when I'm 15 years old. I think that's what I get from this movie. No, in all seriousness, I came out of this movie with this one very succinct sentence, I think. There's so much I love about this movie, but there's so much that infuriates me about this movie.
Infuriates. That's so exciting.
But like overall, I did not realize this was going to be a horror film until very shortly before we went to go see the movie.
What?
I should have thought about it. I thought it was going to be a lot less, like more like unnervingly horror versus like what it ended up being. I got jump scared a couple times.
It depends on the scene.
That's fair. But when it's unnerving, it's so unnerving. And no, this is great. I had a lot of fun. I've been thinking about doing a short video essay about like A24 and its like descent into losing its identity as a production company. And between this and Mother Mary, I think I come with the thesis saying that A24 is back, baby. And
sure, okay.
I saw like Marty Supreme, and like ever since like Civil War, a lot of what like A24 has done has been more commercialized and a lot less like this indie horror weird kind of thing, and it's starting to go back into that again, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts.
Production studio gotta do a lot of production studio things.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Amelia, are you wanted to talk about your initial thoughts here?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I didn't know anything about the film. We watched the trailer, literally. I watched it for the first time in the cinema to watch this movie, so I didn't know anything going on. But I did think the day before, I was kind of thinking about, okay, what makes a good horror movie for me? And I think a lot of films kind of go the easy route of just going for jump scares or violence only and kind of leave the horror elements sidelined or not very well developed. And I think my impression of this movie was, no, the vibes are really good. Like, it has a nice concept, but the vibes are really there. And I thought it was really strong. Yes.
Yeah, I think the movie's at its strongest when we're in like found footage, creepy, what's around the corner mode. The thing that they'll get under your skin and like just freak you out a little bit. I quite like this movie. It's a movie that I like when the Backrooms themselves are just so exciting and fascinating. And I if anything, I wanted to maybe explore them even more than we do end up exploring them in the movie in terms of let's go here, let's go here, let's go here, because I think that's when the movie has its most momentum. That said, there are a lot of more talky scenes that I did find quite fascinating, and I'm glad that there is something of a balance in the film. I think the thing that throws the movie off for me a little bit is when it ends, I'm like, oh, there's not 30 minutes left. Gotcha.
Yes, we'll the same actually. When it ended, it was just kind of over. Yeah.
Although I thought the ending was a good point. It makes sense to me.
It makes sense. It makes sense to me in a way that a good TV pilot ending makes sense. Where I'm like, well, okay, time for the next episode, I guess. I'm hooked.
I don't know.
On the next episode. But obviously, they probably will make more of these. But like,
maybe I don't.
It's created.
I want to know what you think that last 30 minutes should have been. Like, not right now, in a moment, but it's so fascinating. I need to do one more thing before we go into spoilers, because I have, as much as I was making fun of the director, because I'm a little jealous, but I made a comment. I was bitter. It's very, very valid. Part of the online discourse of this movie has been that a lot of people have come out and said they feel that the director, I don't remember his name, give me a second, that Kane Parsons wasn't the one that actually directed it, that he basically had someone on set who was more experienced actually directing this film.
I thought that was more of a meme than an actual concept.
Mark Duplass came out and made comments about this. So no, this was not a joke. This was an actual serious discussion that was had.
Are you talking about The Gentleman? Because that's a joke.
No. Mark Duplass, who plays the scientist and was also like on set, he made an actual like video about commenting on this discussion.
That's interesting, man.
And you know, Mark Duplass being like one of these people that's been a very big voice for younger filmmakers, being very big supporter of Seed and Spark, and so him coming out and saying, look, he was on the set also like as a guiding like mentor-esque kind of voice, but stating that he was not even needed on set, that this kid knew what he was doing. And I use kid as, you know, very big quotes. The fact that we are in a society where we cannot trust that young filmmakers can't tell their stories is something that I find disheartening and sad. And yeah, I just like, it's very sad to me that we have like that this was a discussion on the internet that was being had, because this, as much as I'm about to rip apart this movie a little bit, there's so much brilliance in this. Amelia and I had a short discussion about this after the movie, what really got to me story-wise. But there's so much brilliance in this film. I am just so disheartened, but that has to be a conversation. Yeah, you know, I don't know if
that has to be a conversation.
Sorry?
I'm just repeating you. That has to be a conversation.
But
also, no, when has the internet ever had a good conversation about anything? Ever? Thoughts? So
that's
I don't know. Like the internet will say the things that make people react the most angrily, and those people will angrily respond, and everything cyclones into something massive. So I mean, like, you know,
I find it very interesting with Obsession just coming out in the US as well. The director of Obsession was also in his early 20s. And that movie's coming out within the next couple of weeks here in Germany. You know, I'm really excited to see these new like young horror directors coming into the fray, and what that means to the rest of us in the industry, and hopefully giving us an extra chance or two to make something cool. But yeah, let's not be assholes to young directors. Yeah. What a concept, apparently.
Crazy. Why should we be nice to people?
Why should we be nice to people? That being said, it's time.
And the spoilers.
Dun.
So here's the thing. Probably the main point I might take away from Backrooms is that I watched Obsession like a few days before. And I'm like, wow, Obsession, just like fluttering my eyelashes at that movie. I don't even like horror movies. I just loved Obsession quite a lot. Not watching it. I hated watching it. But afterwards, when it was over, I'm like, wow, that was awesome. This movie actually was kind of the opposite, where I really enjoyed the watching experience and was fascinated the whole time, and was very rarely needing to do this. But by the end of the movie, I had a lot of trouble putting the ending into the perspective of the whole. But maybe we save the ending for more towards the ending. Cameron, do you have before the ending, like, it sounds like you have a list of things. I'm interested in your list of
most
things.
of them happen towards the second half of this film, kind of thing. Where my major gripes are, I need to give flowers to this cast, which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, they rock.
We have the 12 Years a Slave guy. He's great. We have the Sentimental Value gal. She's great. I can't say names. I'm terrible at names. And I even have the list of names on my phone as we speak. And I go at this and I go, I can't pronounce this without sounding like an idiot. So we skip.
So we skip.
This cast is absolutely brilliant. Knows the assignment and does it well. And I like anything that Mark Duplass is in. I think he's an undervalued actor as a whole. I forget what he was in The Morning Show on Apple TV for a hot second. But he's known for his like indie directing more than his acting. But whenever he acts, I'm always like fascinated by his characters, and how well he does. I think this whole idea of this movie is so much fun. Yeah, I think the one part of this movie that annoys me is the flashbacks of the therapist, or one of them. What's the point?
I feel bad because I'm like, surely this is supposed to be what's like gripping me, but at the same time, like by the end, I and maybe I'm stupid. Maybe it's a baby brain, but I haven't gotten like a good read on all those flashbacks, and it does take up a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of trouble kind of parsing that with what it means connected to the whole of the movie. I've occasionally stumbled upon like theories online, and none of them exactly have clicked with me. But I like the therapist character, so I want to like her flashback stuff. But there's a part of me that's like, would this be a stronger movie if we just did away with all that and we just spent more time exploring the back rooms, which was my favorite little parts? Maybe, I don't know. What's y'all's read on therapist flashback stuff?
I don't know. I was thinking actually, I think for the structure of the film, it's quite important because it starts out right with the very like found footage video of the back room, so you kind of get thrown straight into it. And I think it's a very important part of the movie that you're then after all of that, you're really taken out of it. You're really grounded in reality. I think without that, it wouldn't work so well once you go into the back room. And I think the connection that it kind of kept with reality was also really interesting, because I was kind of thinking of it more of like a point of no return, but then they actually do return and there is that ongoing connection. That said, yeah, I think it was a bit much. I think what they tried to do with the flashbacks of like grounding it and making her seem very human, and also towards the end bringing in the visual cues that it's not just the location, it's really the people that go into it that inform the look of it. I thought that was really important and interesting, but I do agree that it was a lot and felt very random at times.
I think there's a moment in... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think it's a good way of depicting like that the therapist has had to deal with these intense personalities who've had like poor mental health. But like I would have been more interested in seeing like how she has coped with that, and maybe the coping is the imparted lessons from the mom of like, stay inside, stay safe, stay away from danger. But then I guess house comes crumbling down. I don't know how abstract that's supposed to be, or if that was like a legitimate horrific scenario that was put upon her by her mother. But maybe if I made a little bit more sense of it, because I agree. I think you make a good point that like for structural grounding, like it's good for something to be there. I just don't know if I was if I have been able to put the pieces together enough to feel the connection to those bits. But I'm glad something is there. But what were you going to say, Cameron?
I think so. My weakest the feeling that I feel is the weakest in this film is the to be area of the movie. The moment the moment between he gives that final call, where Clark gives that call to Mary, up until where Clark dies. That whole segment of the film feels like I'm missing something. I'm missing Clark's turn into madness. I'm missing the connection to these other memories that Mary has had. Because I think if Mary's memories come into play during that final confrontation scene at the dinner table, I think it all makes more sense to me. But I don't see I don't feel that there's a strong, at least for me, it didn't come across as a strong connection towards that part, which I think would have been made it the strongest. But then it all wraps itself up in the end when we see these visuals now in the back rooms, right? And then it all clicks again. But I there's a moment where you lose me in that segment where I'm like, when did these things all happen? I want to see something just a little bit more happen before all of this. And then it just doesn't.
It's interesting. Yeah, I do think there's supposed to be an element of this has always been who Clark is, and this is the first time where he doesn't have to hide who he is, and like everything that he's been feeling gets exacerbated in the back rooms. But I think it would have been fun to experience that a little bit more, because like it's not like, his employees are in danger in the back rooms and he starts going, Mwah!
Right.
There's still like, it seems as though there's like some genuine humanity there of like it's him, and then on the other side of the wall is the woman who's employed by him, and who's like who sees him through like the glass, but he can't see her back, and that's a cool shot. But he's like in a panic. He's really trying to help her, trying to find her, but like, yeah, by the next time we see him, there's none of that. We also don't have like a good sense of, at least I didn't have a good sense of time for how long he's spent in there and how long this descent took place over, and that might have helped a little bit. I don't need a 1 month later at the bottom of the screen, but like, something a little more indicative.
But it can't be more than a week.
I think they said it in the movie. I don't remember, but I think she asks him.
Did they?
When they meet? Maybe I imagined this, but I also don't remember what he said.
You might be right. I might miss it.
Because assumingly he calls her to say that he isn't going to her therapy session that week. And from experience, if you don't come to 1 or 2 sessions, the therapist starts to try to figure out what's going on, especially to a person like that. Like that, like you don't let a client drop off the face of the earth without doing anything about it.
Especially after the last thing she saw Clark doing with talking all this crazy stuff about big rooms and weird furniture. Crazy.
Yeah, but I do feel like there was a couple of disconnects. There was also the part where even before he disappears, when he goes to get his colleagues, there's like no mention of like at that person, the person that he was running away from, right? In the first scene when we see him in the back rooms, he's already being chased and very scared and like relieved to be out of there. And then by the time they go back in, he says like, oh, I've been in here every day. And there's absolutely no mention that he's ever seen this person, creature ever again. So there was a few things where I was kind of like, was that a conscious choice? Like, is this going anywhere? And I felt like, I don't know if it was just there to create a sort of disconnect or if it was just like a little bit underdeveloped.
I guess, maybe from a filmmaking perspective, it could be argued that if we did just start watching, go in, more and more and more, you might start seeing more of the same over and over again, and the movie's just like, let's just keep it going on to the next thing. We'll let them know,
right?
We'll have him verbalize that this is the thing that he's just been doing, and we in our heads can picture, oh, the thing we saw before, there's just more of that. Got it. Granted, the more of that is the fun part of the movie. It's the experiencing, and obviously right after that we do more experiencing, but with his 2 employees. And I really enjoyed that sequence. And I, that in itself, I think deserves some praise. The way that they're able to, in these very simple liminal spaces, like just get so much of the creepy factor in there. I mean, I brought up like Marble Hornets earlier. That's what I grew up on in terms of like this genre, this creepy, like, let's investigate with our cameras and with the supernatural thing going on. And we're in very normal seeming spaces that are just changed up a little bit just to feel so slightly off, and then sometimes jump scare, and then sometimes it's just there's a camera with a creepy thing watching over you and you feel unsettled. And I think I just want more and more and more. That's me.
Yeah I think I just had a theory and I'd love your input on it.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? Just on the spot.
It's the time with Cameron.
I mean, what if, because there's this moment in when he first talks to his employees and he puts the camera guy down with the rope and then he climbs back out and then they try to untie the knot. And then he's like, the knot is too tight. How did you make this knot? What if that's deliberate? That he's like sacrificing this kid to
the beast.
The beast?
Yeah. I think
there's a couple of disconnects with that theory, but like it's something that I just thought of that I'm like, that could be the descent into madness thing, kinda.
Yeah, I think there's probably some room for that. What you think, Amelia?
What is it?
Like, what are your thoughts on the theory?
Was Clark willing to sacrifice
I think,
his employees, or
like,
did he
for
have
me,
like a
it's
good
sort of like,
heart at that point?
yeah, I mean, I think just him, like, after everything that he's experienced in there, kind of going out there and bringing them in, you could argue that, oh, that they're the only people that he knows. But also bringing them in there, I feel like, is already kind of saying like, oh, this is more important than the people. I think he
Sure.
definitely was more obsessed with this whole like mapping out, like the architecture thing coming in, where he's mapping it out and he really just wants to see more.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure if I can see him like bringing them in deliberately to sacrifice them, but definitely where it's like it's more important to see more than to save these people.
Like the
But then why
scientist
not bring a knife to
responsibility.
cut the rope? Why not bring a knife? And then you could have used that to cut the, like, you know, like something feels.
I guess from their perspective, there's no reason to not want the rope. If the rope
That's
is
fair.
the safety thing, why would you bring something to get rid of the safety thing?
Just in case
I
something
mean,
gets stuck?
But I think that was the confusing part
If
to
they're
me, because in the beginning he already, like, we know that he got chased once before and he was scared, but then when he goes back in, it seems like he's not scared at
Right.
all.
Like I
So that's
love
the
rope
part where I'm
design.
like, oh, I'm not really sure if this is deliberate.
That's the
Yeah.
fun
Now-
question about it.
Here's another fun question that I have.
It's fun
Is the
question
beast
time,
the
Karen. Doo-doo.
Thank you. Doo-doo. Is the beast in the beginning of this movie the same one as the one that we see? And
I
if
was wondering
so,
about
does that
that.
make sense? Does that
I
make
hope
sense
not.
based on the world the story creates? Because the whole ending, at least this is how I understand the ending of the story, where basically the Backrooms like take any information, any memories that someone that's gone in and use it to create more Backrooms. Right? That's what the ending is. The ending is to create more memories based on Mary's memories that come into it, which is kind of why the whole memories are throughout. I just don't feel that they're connected to her in any way, which is my main issue with them as a whole. But is the beast the same beast throughout the film? And if so, does that break the whole Backrooms memories kind of concept that it tries to predict?
I think that's the thing that makes the most sense. I'm not saying I want that to be the case, because I think the fun of the Backrooms is that you feel this infinite element about it. So I want to imagine that there is these multiple weird creatures and whatnot. But at the very least, we know that when Mary first comes into the Backrooms and she sees Clark and he's like, "Be quiet, you're being too loud." And then something's creeping in, and he's like, it's just me. Don't worry. Surely he's alluding to the beast that's a replication of him. I don't know if it's the same as earlier in the movie, of course. I want to believe that there's a variety of things. But yes, on a level of what the movie establishes, I guess it makes sense for it to maybe be the same thing, even if that's less exciting to me.
Because in the opening, we do see the no credit needed sign in the very open. I'm talking about the very, very opening when the guy in the hazmat,
very open,
like runs,
very
and
opening.
he sees the whole like the like ship wheels and like the furniture that are like starting to protrude through, and like the no credit needed sign. It just doesn't. But does that then mean that that the Backrooms doesn't have a concept of time, and so it knows what people are going to at some point go into its rooms, therefore meaning that memories, it had all back, there are no new Backrooms ever created because it has all memories that it has encountered and will encounter?
I mean, it's hard to say, right? Because the first guy that we see in the found footage thing, I think he brings up the theory that they just keep spreading, that it just keeps creating more rooms. But I agree with the elements from the store. But we also don't know when that happens in time, the first scene.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm under the impression that if you want to take it in a very literal way, that it's like a subterranean version of all that exists, and that it's taking memories actively from flip my camera from the surface.
How dare you?
So it's not about who goes into the backrooms. It's just that everything that has existed in a memory can exist in the backrooms, at least since the beginning of the backrooms, which maybe was 5 years ago, maybe was a million years ago. But then, like, at the very end, when we see the still life of Mary come into existence, that was, I suppose, a new memory of her that was created by that interaction with scientist man, you know. So maybe there could have been previous Marys still lives, you know. That's I think that's the infinite of it all gets a little less fun when you limit it, you know. But that's, I don't know. I guess it's meant to be pondered in that way.
Yeah.
This has been Ponder Time with Cameron.
Why is it with me? Only with me. Why is it only with me?
I said Cameron the first 2 times I did a jingle, so, you know, rule of threes or something, I guess.
I need to, I think if I might change the subject
to Obsession. I loved Obsession.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I haven't seen Obsession yet.
Yeah, but pretend you did. I want to talk about Obsession.
No.
Spoiler.
Why? You're the one that wanted to do this episode. You were the first one that submitted for Backrooms as a podcast episode.
Yeah, but I didn't see Backrooms yet. And I wanted to do I wanted to do Obsession, and Cameron was like, no, it's not out in Germany until like 2027 or something.
That's not true.
That's probably close.
The camera and the music and the sound in this movie. Like, I just want to go over the technicals because I think it is so well done.
Yes.
All of it is so well done. Like, story aside, right? The story has its issues, but what story doesn't have issues, right? I feel like every single time we barely come on to a show, Justin, and we barely ever say the story was 100% perfect, no notes. I've had that once or twice, I feel like. With Your Name, I think, was one of those.
We've seen Your Name and Everything Everywhere.
That's true. But, like, this...
Rare, I know.
The technicals in this film, I think, are just so on point. And it's not that they're perfect, but they're fitting. It's like, it just, like, it meshes so well with I feel so unnerving the moment I step into the back rooms. And it's the sound and it's the music. I just, Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Like, I think, like, of course, the acting was amazing. Like, no problem at all. Like, camera work was good, but I think the sound really stole the show. Like, there's no point in the back rooms where you don't feel like it was so uncomfortable to watch the whole time. I was just like, it's impossible to not be on edge with all the sound stuff that they do. And yes, it's great sound design, honestly.
They know how to unnerve you. It's like watching YouTube shorts at 3 a.m., you know? And what more could someone ask for in the cinema?
Justin, could you elaborate on that sentence, please?
Nope. No, I think it's isolated, just like this movie will be, without any sequels.
But you the whole opening was using there's going to be a sequel.
I think movies are better when they're like watching things on your phone. And I think theaters should adapt to be more like that. Did you like that I elaborated like you asked for? Do you want me to keep going?
You elaborated in the worst way possible. Can you please explain?
I think it was asked upon, just like for the sequel of Backrooms, to be a TikTok original.
Please stop. This bit has gotten worse as time goes on.
Point for Amelia. Sorry. That was me changing the name 3 times. I was going to say Cameron, and I said, no, I deserve a point. And I said, no, we need a third option. But then my brain went too many times. But now we fixed it.
I mean, I think more so than the web video part, what I really appreciated, it reminded me a lot more of horror games. I think horror video games do a lot of those things, like the endless walking, you were kind of peeking around the corners. I also think the whole basically third act when she's running away from the pirate person, that reminded me so much of all those horror games when you can't fight back, when it's just like you just have to fight, run and hide. There's no way, like if you stop and you try to fight, like you're dead. There's no way you can fight. And I think that's the kind of horror that usually doesn't get done in film so much, because the whole part of like you actively having to hide in video games is what's so unnerving about it. And weirdly enough, it still felt like a movie, but it had all the good stuff from the games. So that kind of impressive, because I generally like horror games more because you're more inside of the experience, but it really had that part to it. So
found footage as well, I think, makes it really immersive in a video gamey kind of way, because it's that first person kind of action. Where you say, Cameron?
Those two scenes, the two major running scenes in this film, the first time where it happens with Clark and the second time where it happens, those are my two favorite parts of this movie. I think that's when it's in its and I guess the opening to an extent. I think I'm just so like all over the place trying to figure out this opening, but like especially once it hits its groove, those two moments or those two sequences are my favorite parts of this film. When you get to learn about this world, see these characters kind of like learn about this world as you come into it, and just like the technical, like bringing all the technicals together to like mesh the best with the acting, like especially the moment in the major chase scene with Clark where he gets to like the Christmas tree. Unnerving. When you're looking around, you see like these like toys like half in the ground, and then all of a sudden like his ex-wife, kind of in the memory of his ex-wife, then like jolts at him. Terrifying.
While we hear Feliz Navidad.
Yeah.
Christmas
vibes, all soft and.
So when people say Die Hard's a Christmas movie, is Backrooms a Christmas movie?
I'll say yes.
Backrooms is a Christmas movie. Cameron, put it on the whiteboard. Add it to the Christmas movie list.
There's no Christmas movie list on the whiteboard.
It starts today.
Amazing.
No.
You hate
I'll write it. I truly don't. Stop it.
Maybe you say
don't publish lies on the internet. Stop it. Yeah. This is a Christmas movie. I'll put that. I'll defend that.
This Pair makes a Christmas movie ranked letterboxed list. I expect this at the top.
Nice. Yes. Absolutely.
Right above Muppets Christmas Carol, and then
like the whole family experience. You go sit down on Christmas Day and you watch the
100%.
Close. I think that's all of them. Wonderful Life. Well, welcome back to the Christmas movie podcast, everyone. Next up on the Backrooms train. It's also a very funny movie. I love the employees. I love just this.
They're great.
Messing with Clark, being like, "So, are you a pirate? Are you a sultan?" I think for clarity, we gotta really nail this.
Do you think he's messing? I think he's just that's him. He truly wants to know. I think
it's somewhere in the middle.
You think?
I think he gets both out of it. I don't think he wants to be there, so he's gonna play around.
No,
but he's also curious.
I think that moment though, when we see the ad at the scientist's house and his realization that that's the person who he saw, and then it all clicks together.
Yeah,
I think is so fun. Because you're like, oh no, what's about to happen? And then
everything comes out at the end, and we're like, wow, it's about to just all be lore dumped to us, for better or for worse. And then he tells Mary, I don't know. But do you know? You've been there. I don't know. I appreciate that guy just be like, I want to know even just a little bit about this place that I've been staring at for years. I just don't know. And then Mary's like, am I going to live? And then he's like, I don't know, but I really want to know more about the Backrooms.
Yeah.
What is this company? They create MRI machines and then they stop creating MRI machines.
They used to make MRI machines.
Yeah.
Because now they can just walk in and out of the Backrooms and have fun.
Yeah.
Why would you
Did you create an MRI machine and accidentally produce the Backrooms as a result? Is that what we're supposed to gather? Because that's also a wild theory. Like,
it is a wild theory, but whatever. Yeah, but I feel like it's just kind of thrown out there as like they don't understand what's going on. So like they don't understand if there's a connection. We don't understand if there's a connection. I felt like it was just kind of thrown in there to be like, do what you want with that bit of information.
And does that mean there are more backroom entrances? More than 2?
Also, because they got Clark's body as well. It was lying on the table. I was also like, what are they doing?
Was that Clark? Was that pirate? The pirate Clark?
Okay.
I thought I saw Pegleg.
Oh, it could be. I just thought that it was wrapped up, right, with something.
Yes.
Okay.
I would have loved to have been a little bit more in that scientist layer, just to like some sort of interest and intrigue in that world.
Yeah, but something that I really appreciated with that, also like what you said with the scene where it clicks that it's like he recognizes Clark from the advert. What I think the film did really well is it kind of kept introducing like new perspectives, new aspects to it, so that being in the Backrooms and just doing that kind of thing doesn't grow too repetitive. It really spaced it out and gave you like a new aspect to consider it from, which I really appreciated. I was a little bit worried after the opening that it was just them going in and then just walking around the Backrooms being scared for like 2 hours. So
some good outside world building. What a movie
that would be. It was
great.
I think audiences would eat that up. And they just have a therapy session about it. And they're like, wow, spooky. And they go, oh my gosh.
I think now they'd be more intrigued with that. Like, I think you needed to set up the Backrooms world a little bit more to a more general audience. And now if they make a 90-minute movie of people just in the Backrooms, I think that'd be great. I would watch it. Just a single one-shot take of someone in the Backrooms for 90 minutes. That sounds fun. I think
like a fun concept would be if they just made a movie releasing like a bunch of people at the same time. So while they go, they kind of meet each other at different spots.
That's
and then
true.
messed up shit happens. I feel like more people would be interesting.
That's true.
Build your little backroom society. Yeah. Some nice people, some evil people. It's just, and it's like a little crossover episode in the middle of your movie. That's what I'm all about.
So do we actually think there's going to be a sequel coming for Backrooms? Yeah. Is there going to be Backrooms 2 Electric Boogaloo? Is that what's going to happen?
Probably, yeah.
I hope it comes out the same month as Obsession 2. I don't want there to be an Obsession 2. but
okay, but
there will be a Backrooms 2.
Okay.
So what I'm hearing, Justin, is that you want to buy the Obsession wallpaper that you can currently buy on A24's website. And this is, in fact, not a joke. You can go 24 shop.
Wallpaper.
Oh,
no. The Backrooms wallpaper.
Oh, I think you said Obsession just now.
No.
Yes.
Did I?
But you meant Backrooms. Yes.
Okay, but now I understand. Okay. That makes a lot more sense because I'm like, what is Obsession wallpaper? But yeah, the Backrooms. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can buy the wallpaper from the Backrooms.
Yeah, I mean, it's how much you have to pay for it though, because it's surely based off of how big the room is.
Yep.
$60. It says $60, but I don't know how much space that covers.
It's for a piece of like 48 inches by like something.
Oh, you could do the calculations and everything. Okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna I think I'm gonna do is Cameron's away in Germany right now. I think I'm just gonna collaborate with Cameron's parents to put up the Backrooms wallpaper all around Cameron's space here in the States, so that he could be surprised when he comes home. And what's good about that is,
present as well.
Right? No, that's a great birthday present. And it's like the whole house is his gift. It's wrapped. And what's good about it is Cameron thinks that we're joking right now,
No, I don't.
And
I
we'll
really
see it
don't.
actually coming because this is like so specific and weird. Cameron's gonna think this is just a bit on the podcast.
My only saving grace is that this is gonna cost Justin too much to do.
Yeah,
so I don't think they'll have the means.
$20.
I mean, he could just replicate it. You don't have to buy the original. You can just.
So
you're right. I could just buy
$60
construction paper and like color it in a little bit. Yeah,
$60 will give
glue
you
it on the walls.
$60 will give you a 30-inch by 48-inch.
Right. I could figure out how big that is in my head. That doesn't confuse me at all.
That's like 3 feet by 4 feet.
Okay, so I can remember that I'm like almost double that. I'm more than double 3 feet in height, so I could picture what that amount is, I guess. This is a good movie. I think I like Backrooms more right now than I did entering the podcast. So something's really worked for this conversation.
Good that you got that out of it. I'm happy for you.
This doesn't happen often during a podcast. I feel like I usually come in, I have my opinion, and we share our opinions, and then we leave. But I've had a really transformative experience. Like I've been visiting the Backrooms. Or the opposite.
Do you want to visit the Backrooms? Because I'm kind of intrigued. And I know that's not a good look.
No, I don't. I would never. I would do the thing where I go through the wall and think that's really cool. I'm not going further than that. Not a chance. That's if I go in with the knowledge, of course. If I don't go in with the knowledge of what the Backrooms is, then maybe I explore for like 5 minutes and then run. But knowing what I know, no.
I would at least put like breadcrumbs that I know how to get to the entrance. I guess.
Nice. Yeah, and then the Sultan pirate will come and eat the breadcrumbs.
Oh my gosh! Oh no!
Love it. Spin-off right there.
Nailed it.
But I feel like the concept is so deeply based on like how terrible and like horrific modern architecture is, with like just endless corridors looking the same, that going into the Backrooms is just like going into every office building ever, and like I don't think I need that personally.
It's just the weirdness of it all the weird like rooms. Like I just like spooky. I love it. I'd be terrified.
Okay, I think we found Cameron a new home.
Yeah,
Cameron's like, I like it better in here.
Have you heard of Piranesi by Susanna Clarke?
No.
It was a bestseller a couple years ago. I think it came out 2020. It's a 200-page or so novel, and it's basically the same concept. It's just a different genre. It's like this guy stuck in these holes that just keep going on, and there's like weather in there, and he kind of tries to map it out and writes a diary, and he keeps forgetting things as well that he doesn't know until he looks back in the diary. And when I was watching the movie yesterday, I was like, it's kind of like Piranesi, but like a lot more like, it's just a complete genre shift. Whereas that one is a lot more like, oh, these like amazing halls and let's explore. This one's a lot more like, okay, let's explore the horror of whatever's going on here.
Just
let's not
in there.
Let's not explore, you know?
Also, like going back like quite far, but I like with the question that you had with like, is it the same creature in the beginning as the pirate Sultan is at the end? There were a few things, because I was thinking about this yesterday, and there was a few things where I was thinking, I don't think it should be. Like, it doesn't make that much sense, because in the beginning, like the person that, or whatever it is that haunts them, like it's so, like it breaks things and it moves stuff around. And they also talk about like someone moving like all the furniture around, where I feel like I don't really see our friend Mr. Flesh enjoying pirate moving around furniture for fun.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
I was just saying, I think something that's very interesting about this premise is that I feel like in any other like similar premise of you enter a world that has this danger, but you're still intrigued to venture forward, has an element of there's something very inviting about the world. There's something rewarding. There's one of life's pleasures is involved here. Like it's
right.
The fountain of youth exists here, or so you find love here. Like there's something inviting about the world,
right?
Clark is all about this world that has truly zero upsides in its existence, except for like if you're intrigued by weird architecture, which I guess he is. He's an architect, but like I'm fascinated by the fact that there's just simply no upsides to the Backrooms, and yet this guy wants to be here anyway. And maybe that's what makes him all the more interesting as a person.
Yeah, I really like that about his character, actually. First, the thing that he's so into just drawing his little map and being like, no, we have to see all of it and see how it goes. But also the part when he like decides to stay and like it's like, oh, this is really nice. It feels like he really just like everything he did with the therapist and wasn't enjoying. He was just like, no, I don't want to do work. I really like just not changing. I like being this arsehole that everyone tells me I am.
I think it's great. Exploring this place gives him and like the scientists like the sense of purpose, I suppose, that we know Clark was really, really lacking in the outside world.
Yeah, and I think also it's the part where there's no other people around, right? Like it's just these weird, messed up like memories of people. Like he's so fascinated with them being edible and like sticking things in them where you're like, yeah, you just don't really like people, do you?
And,
like
yeah, and none of them are belittling him. That's huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they are either just ignorant and don't know anything because they don't have a developed brain or a body,
Rude,
I guess.
Cameron.
They literally pull like I don't
know
what
dare
kind of
you
goo out of these people's bodies.
And yeah, if someone hurt me, I would be releasing goo from my body as well. It's called blood, but it's similar.
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about the same thing, bud. Don't think we're talking about the same thing.
You never want to talk about the same thing as me.
I usually do. That's why, you know.
That's why
or it's the Captain Pirate Sultan.
Is that what the P in Capgun CGP stands for? Welcome everyone to the Capgun Pirates. I'm the Christmas movie Justin.
I said Captain Pirate Sultan.
I legitimately thought you said Capgun. And I'm like, I don't know why you said that sentence, but now I'm intrigued.
Amazing. Okay.
Amazing. Love it. I think we have now started to go off the rails, just like Clark in the Backrooms. I think we've hit that point.
That's us.
That's us.
We're just as cute.
You know what that usually means, Justin?
What does that usually mean, Cameron?
So Amelia, we have this very cool bit on the show called Rate That Movie, where we in fact rate that movie. But we do it in a way where we all say it at the same time. And trust me, it works every time. So I'm going to go, it's time to, and then we're all going to say Rate That Movie together.
Okay, and can we just say the phrase?
Correct.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
All right, guys. You know what? It's time. It's time to rate that movie.
Good job, everyone.
Nailed it.
The build-up was worth it, as always.
As always, no notes. Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's always good stuff.
Do your number thing, Cameron. I know you like your numbers.
I do like my numbers thing. Look, I really keep going back and forth on this. Like it's like really between a 7 and 8 out of 10 for me. And I'm very inclined to go for the 7 route just because this episode has really brought out the story consistencies, which is why at the top I was like, there's a lot that I love, but a lot that infuriates me because the story consistencies just really grind my gears when I'm thinking about this movie afterwards. So it's 7 out of 10. Great visuals, great sound, great movie, but just there's a couple story elements that get on my nerves. So that's it.
I appreciate that in a movie, in a podcast rather, that about a movie that I, ended up liking more came about from Cameron talking about the things he didn't like about it. So
yeah, I don't know what that says about us.
Cameron really won me over with this movie.
I really, either then you really didn't like it, or I don't know. I did really enjoy this movie. I think the four of us saw it together, and I feel like when I spoke with the two other people, I was the only person that understood the ending.
I don't know if there's a lot.
Those four.
I guess we didn't talk about the ending a lot, and I know we're in Rate That Movie, but I'm ignoring that. So like,
just put the spoilers up again.
Is there like a ton to like explain?
Well, because it's the question. It's this question about what it means.
Was the straightforwardness of the ending. I'm like, oh, okay, she has a still life. Cool. That's cool. I guess that makes sense with the context of the movie. I don't feel like there's a lot, and maybe that's why some people feel like they don't get the ending. I just don't feel like there's a lot to the ending.
Well, I think it's the end. The ending for me becomes this idea of like, we keep talking about the Backrooms being the memories, and like, oh well, maybe at the beginning we just think it's Clark's memories because we've only seen the furniture and like the captain and like all of his memories. But in fact, I think the ending is like it's everyone's collective memories in the Backrooms. Anyone that's ever entered the Backrooms or will enter the Backrooms, it's their memories that are in this or in these Backrooms.
I guess we just have very different experiences because that was never my thought that it's only Clark's memories. I was just like, oh, this is a place of.
I just think that's what it's setting up. I just feel that's what it's setting up. Before that point,
you have the shot where like you see Mary's. It was Mary's house, right? And then you go like down the layers. That's right?
Yeah.
And then, like by the end of it, like you see the abstraction of one of Mary's memories, and that was like, 45 minutes before the ending, at least.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I think that's when Mary already entered
the Christmas room and the this and the that, and I'm not thinking to myself, oh, look at Clark's old memories. I think it would have been a twist if it was for me all Clark's memories. And like, oh, this is only a Clark thing.
Well, I said that out loud, and someone was like, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." So it clearly was not everyone's thought.
Someone made Cameron feel smart, and now I'm taking away from that, and I apologize.
Yeah.
I mean, what also speaks against being his memories in the beginning is all the like people that they meet, right? Because not all of them are based on people that he knows.
Right. Not all of it's recognizable to him. Or at least he doesn't remember remembering them.
Where?
Right? Like the dude with the lamp and the guy that he takes stuff out of to eat.
Oh yeah.
He knows, right? They're just
not as far as we know.
Not as far as we know, but it could be. I think there's enough believability that it's just like people that he knows or that aren't important. Because like his ex-wife is there, right? That's the person in the back corner. That was also a wild scene we didn't talk about where he cuts her scalp.
Yeah,
the hair on top of her head.
Exercise. He's finally getting into role play.
Yeah, but cool. I really like the part where she was just like, "Nope, I'm done with this. Like, let's get rid of the hair." Like,
and she's just chilling there, but then like freaks the heck out and runs away when the pirate's coming. And I'm like, "Oh, that probably means something."
Yeah, definitely.
Very creepy when she runs off. I love that. And
Emilia,
I guess, she real life Mary is just that frightened of real life Clark, and I guess that's what that means there. And we only saw it from Clark's perspective, so we don't know maybe the real rough life that he put real Mary through.
What great puppetry! That was some great puppetry. That was some great puppetry there.
I wish I had a puppeteer like that.
Like, I don't know. There's so much that we didn't talk about. I just realized, but here we are.
You want to finish rating that movie, and then we'll talk for another 3 hours.
Yeah, go ahead, Emilia.
Yeah, I mean,
rate the movie.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a really solid 8 out of 10. I think like there was a lot of plot inconsistencies, but for me, that kind of added to the computer game charm. I feel like computer game stories usually are all over the place, and they forget about half the elements halfway through. So I don't know, that felt very, very homely to me. I thought that was I didn't mind so much.
That's fair. I know. I kept hearing that the director spent 5 years working on the plot and the lore of this movie, and I went, man, for 5 years, this feels.
But I mean,
there
he's
are
also
too many
19.
holes. That's fair.
Yeah. I think
Cameron, I thought we respected young artists.
We do. What? That's not what I was.
Yeah,
this is gaslighting.
I think for me, horror films are like 60% vibes, 30% concept, and then like 10% is like, does it make sense or not? So,
I still want to connect with like the characters, and like,
yes,
I think that's one of the things holding back a little bit. Where I'm like, there's these disconnects, and I want anything I watch, I really want to connect with the characters, and like there is a lot of that here. Just
they could have
talked about like the little disconnects. So like. But wow, the vibes are immaculate.
The vibes are immaculate. Justin, where do you rank this upon all of the movies?
I've had so much trouble figuring out the ranking for this, and I wish I did it before the podcast and not during. At right now, and this might finagle around. Out of the 63 podcast movies that I've watched, I currently have it at 23, which is a lot higher than I was expecting when I.
Interestingly, yeah.
I might need to finagle the whole like.
Okay, so that's what you do. So instead of giving it a number, you just say, "I will list every movie."
I do that, and I contextualize it by saying something along the lines of, "I have it below." So that puts it below Dee, which I was all about.
That was a solid movie.
-1. Oh my gosh, I have it currently above, and one of these is going to be especially interesting. I have it above Braveheart and Carrie. Am I crazy for that latter one? I don't know, maybe.
No, I like this more than Carrie.
Okay.
Like
so
I
like is like sacrilege in the horror world. I'm not really a horror person usually, but I really like this movie.
Here's the thing. I remember during the Carrie podcast, me being the one that was like, I don't know. I feel like this movie was a little overrated for watching this. And so
I have think, like all the horror movies kind of close together, like Backrooms and Carrie and The Shining. Like they're all kind of in a similar spot on my list.
Why are they so high for you?
I'm like, maybe it's legacy that has boosted it up a little bit. Some of those movies, like, because I kind of agree. Maybe I think this middle part of my list needs to be reworked a little bit because like we're not in like the territory of like the movies I love, which is like the top 20, but we're not in like the movies that I go to, which is like the bottom 20. I gotta rework this middle part a little bit. But like, you know, John Wick's at 49, and this is higher than that, so you should be grateful.
Yeah, that's such a low bar. You're trying to convince me with a low bar. That no.
I was trying to harken back to some sort of running gag we had last week that I actually don't have a good recollection of anymore. Oh, because John Wick was the John Wick of movies. What was the John Wick of movies?
Yes. What did we have last week? What was the movie?
Was Mando and Grogu last week? Yeah.
Oh, it was Mando because Mandalorian
and Grogu was the John Wick of Star Wars. But Mando, I had Mando and Grogu ranked higher. Obviously, this is way better. But
yeah.
Now we're thinking with portals and all that. Okay. So
Amelia, as you see, we have an unhinged podcast
of my lifetime. So good job, everyone.
Yeah. Amazing.
And this has been another Christmas classic.
Yes.
Of course. Amelia, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope we can have you back at some point soon. It was an absolute pleasure having you on this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I you know. But that being said, gang, thank you so much for watching the Capcom podcast. I'm Cameron.
Yeah, I'm still Justy.
And I'm Amelia.
Let's go.
And we'll see you next week for Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, that could go either way. I don't know.
It is next week.
Maybe that's
good. I forgot for a moment. I need to write down more things. All right, gang. Bye.
Bye-bye. Waving goodbye. Waving bye.